Hey everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. Today I'm doing a little quick, not so much a recipe as maybe just a kitchen skill. We processed chickens yesterday on our farm, and a friend came out and we processed 27 birds. Um, Something I love, love, love to do is teach people how to do that. So that's a whole separate thing. But in our conversation, she had mentioned she didn't know how to cut up a bird, that she just kind of cuts them up and does the best she can and whatever, winds up with what she winds up with, which is fine. You can do whatever you want to do in your own kitchen, your rules, that whole story. But I thought, well, as my husband and I were in here dealing with all these birds this morning, so we processed yesterday. They stay in an ice chest in ice, cold water overnight. Then the next day we vacuum seal them, cut up the ones we want to cut up. A lot of them I just cut the wings off, and because we love to fix wings, and then I'll keep the whole bird to stew, to make broth, and then have the meat off the bird to do all kinds of casseroles and tacos and whatever. So lots and lots of things you can do with a whole bird. But I was getting down to the last few birds and I thought, oh my gosh, let me do a video to show how you can cut up a bird. Now I'm going to give a little disclaimer, I guess. Cutting up a chicken is like eviscerating a chicken, which is like making gumbo. There's a million ways to do it. So I'm not saying this is the only way or the right way or the perfect way or anything. I'm just saying this is my way. This is how I was taught to do it, how I've done it all my life. I've been cutting chickens up, Lord, for close to 50 years. That's so creepy to say out loud. But anyway, it just is what it is. So I'm going to flip the camera down and show you how to go through and part it out in just to some in some common pieces. I will say, back when I was growing up, I don't even know that chicken pieces were available. I don't know. If they were, my mom never bought them. She always bought a whole bird. And I would encourage you to buy whole birds. You can get a local, pasture-raised, cleanly fed, maybe organic chicken, whole bird, for way, way, way cheaper than you're going to get pieces and parts. So get the whole bird, cut it up, save lots of money. Get a really, really quality bird and cut it up for the same price you're going to pay for crappy meat that's already cut up. So this is a good kitchen skill to have, and it's not hard. If a farmer's having a sale, or even if they're not, buy a dozen birds, cut them all up. Y'all like to grill leg quarters? Package those up, vacuum seal them, wrap them in butcher paper, however you do, get them in your freezer. We keep the breasts and grill them to make chicken salad. We are not white meat breast eaters. Well, I think it's dry and I just don't care for it. But grilled with some seasonings and then made into chicken salad, it is to die for. So we'll take the wings off, package those. I'll take the leg quarters off, package those. The breast, package that. Then I take the backs and the wing tips and put them together, and they go into a package to make broth with. So you could spend $25 on a very high quality, locally raised chicken and get a ton of dishes, meals, things out of it. So I think I've beat that point to death. Do you get the point? Buy a whole bird from a local farmer. It's much better. I will turn the camera down, show you how I cut up chickens, how I learned to do it, how I've done it all my life. And I'm telling you, I've done thousands of these things. I used to manage a grocery store. We would buy cases. I'd cut them up. We'd freeze them. We raised chickens every year in batches, cut them up and freeze them. I've done it my whole life. So done it a lot. Not perfect, but this is the way I do. Hang tight. Okay, so here's our beautiful 4-pound bird that we raised right out on our pasture and processed yesterday. Now, one thing you won't see a lot of at the grocery store, because they mechanically do everything, every now and then I'll pull a little feather follicle out. It ain't going to kill anybody. But, so like I mentioned, you'll take your wings off, take your leg quarters off, separate the back from, or the breast from the back, and that's as far as I go with it, more feather follicles. Some people may want the tenders, which is just a piece of the breast. I don't get into all that, because when you have a tender, then you don't have any bone. And I want bone with my meat, whether it's chicken, pork, or beef. Unless it's sausage, of course. So anyway, we'll start with the wings. So what you want to do, this is the joys of local fresh. I'm pulling feathers. So we'll pull this up, just kind of like under the armpit, and then you'll just cut into there. And if you do it right, like I just did that time, doesn't always happen, the joint pops right out, and then you can just come in here and boom, there is your chicken wing. So we'll come back to that in just a second. So we'll do the same on this side. And it doesn't, one key, sharp, super sharp knife. But if you kind of pick the bird up and let the weight of the bird pull down on the body and this joint, when you cut into it, that helps. And you just kind of cut till you feel it pop loose. And there you go. There's another chicken wing. So similar thing with the leg quarters. You want to come under here, and there's just all this skin. You're going to cut through the skin, and see, then it's just really all that's holding it together is the skin up to the point of the joint of the thigh. So you get that loose and then just pop it back. It popped that joint out of socket. Then you can just come down right along here and cut it loose. Boom, there's your leg quarter. Now, if you want to cut your thigh from your leg, you can. We don't do it that way just because we don't care for it that way. We grill it like this. But you can cut here, bend it, and cut here, finding the joint, just like we did on the other two, and then cut around and separate thigh from leg. All right, so we'll do the other side. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. So we'll just come in here, cut this skin. And the first time you do it, it's probably going to feel super awkward, but there we go. Pop that joint out and then just cut along here. Come this way, and there we go. Leg quarter. But after you do it a couple times, it'll be second nature. Now here's if there is a hard part, this would be the harder part. So here's our breast, and here's our back. So what we're going to do, there is, if any of y'all are old enough to remember the wishbone, this is the wishbone right here sticking out. You can see that little piece, and there's on both sides. So if you take your knife and go under the wishbone and just cut until it stops, and then come over here, cut until it stops, and then, this is really going to be a hard part for y'all to see, I think. If you come in, I don't know if you can see this. If you get inside the cavity, whoa, that was loud. There's a place where the rib cage kind of meets in bones like this. And you want to get your knife right between those. I'll do one side, and I think it'll open up the bird enough that you'll be able to see the other side. So I just take my tip and go down to the bottom and just cut through that, just like that. Super easy, no pressure needed. And see on this side, you can even see how the bird's kind of bending right there. That's where the rib cage meets those bones coming off of the breast. So we'll do the same thing on this side. Just go down here to the bottom, cut between them, and cut it up. Now, what you've effectively done is the only thing connecting the back to the breast at this point is a little bit of tissue and some skin. So if you come in here and just cut that loose, so there's that piece, and then kind of look over here. Oh, look, there's another little piece. Cut that loose. Then you can take it and pull it like that, and then I'll just cut that skin. Now I've got, my back is intact with my neck. We leave the necks on our chicken. Awesome, awesome for your broth. Makes just the most fantastic broth ever. Lots of collagen, gelatin. See all that fat? Our chickens are so healthy. That stays in there because, again, it makes the broth really, really good. If the hairs wind up in, or hair, I don't know why I keep saying hairs. The feathers, that's not hurting a thing either. But there's my back. And then you've got your breast. And there it is, one whole breast. A little bit of blood on there. If you want to cut it in half, which I never bother because we grill it, You can come in here where the bone's kind of soft and split it right there. This is one you have to be very careful with because this sucker will roll around and you could lose a finger. But you just want to take your knife into that breastbone and puncture it, then go down. It gets softer as it goes. Split that, and then you can kind of just take it and pop it apart and cut it, and then you have the two sides of the breast. But we leave it like this. Look at that, little bit of grass. I'm telling you, y'all, this is the real deal, straight out of the pasture yesterday. We leave it like this, marinate it, throw it on the grill. I pull the meat off. I eat the skin because it's so nutritious and it tastes so good. And then I make chicken salad out of it. So that's what we do there. Now I'll get back to the wings, what I'll do. So on here, you want to take the tip off because there's really nothing there to eat, but there's a lot of nutrition there because it's got all the collagen, gelatin, connective tissue. It's a little harder to find that joint because it's smaller. And be careful, you can cut yourself bad. But once you find it, then it's just a matter of slipping through it. And again, this I'll put in my little rib cage of my back and freeze it that way. So when I make broth, it goes in the pot. I think I'm going to throw that in the pot right now, actually. Making some broth sounds pretty yummy right now. So that goes there. So now we can take these two, and I'll just kind of hold this apart, if you can see what I'm doing. Cut down to the joint. Pop it. Okay, there's where it separates. Put your knife in there, and there you are, your flat and your drumette for your chicken wings. Do the same thing on this side. Kind of hold the skin, cut it down, pop, cut, flat, and drumette. And there we have it. One chicken parted into leg quarters, wings for amazing chicken wings at home. Who needs Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings or any of those other trash places? I say trash places because of the ingredients. Leg quarters and a back that I'm going to make some awesome chicken stock with in about 5 minutes. And that's it, y'all. That is parting a chicken. Simple, old-fashioned, saves you tons of money, gets you a good quality bird, bust it up, put it in the pieces you like, the way you like to use it, stick it in the freezer, and you're good to go. So, let me know what you think. Is this the same as how you learned? Different? Did you ever learn? Is this the first time you've seen somebody part a chicken? You don't care. Whatever. But I hope that's helpful. Y'all have a great day. See you here on the next video.